In 2012, Todd Gurley was the running back everyone was talking about. He first burst onto the scene as a college phenom at the University of Georgia, where he bulldozed through defenses with a rare combination of power and speed. In 3 seasons at Georgia, Gurley amassed over 3,000 rushing yards and scored 36 rushing touchdowns, earning first-team All-SEC honors as a freshman. He was, without a doubt, one of the nation's most exciting players to watch. But late in 2014, tragedy struck with Gurley tearing the ACL in his left knee during a game against Auburn, abruptly ending his junior season. This devastating injury came at the worst possible time, just as he was set to go pro, and it cast a shadow over his NFL prospects. Despite the ACL tear, Gurley's talent was undeniable, and in the 2015 NFL Draft, the St. Louis Rams took that chance, selecting Gurley 10th overall even though he was still rehabbing his knee. Once he hit the NFL field, he was instant electricity. Gurley debuted a few weeks into his rookie season and then proceeded to run wild. He racked up over 1,100 rushing yards in 13 games and took home the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year award, capping an incredible first season. The following season brought some growing pains. The Rams struggled as a team and Gurley's production dipped. It was a frustrating year. The offense couldn't get going, and Gurley's yards per carry plummeted. But any doubts about Gurley's greatness wouldn't last long. In 2017, the Rams got a new head coach in Sean McVay, and the entire offense caught fire, especially Todd Gurley. What came next was one of the most dominant 2-year runs by a running back in recent NFL history. Gurley led the league in touchdowns in back-to-back seasons, 19 touchdowns in 2017 and 21 in 2018, and he piled up an astonishing 3,924 yards from scrimmage over those 2 years. In 2017, he was voted the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year, and many believed he was the best running back in football. He earned Pro Bowl and first-team All-Pro honors, and the Rams rode his talents to a string of victories. By the 2018 season, Gurley was at the peak of his powers. He was a focal point of every offensive game plan, and the Rams were legitimate Super Bowl contenders. The team started the year with 8 straight wins, with Gurley scoring touchdown after touchdown. In mid-2018, the Rams rewarded their 24-year-old superstar with a massive contract extension. 4 years, $60 million. That deal made Gurley the highest-paid running back in the NFL at the time. It was a bold move by the Rams, a signal that Gurley was their franchise cornerstone for years to come. With this contract, expectations were sky-high, and Gurley continued to deliver on the field. He finished 2018 with over 1,200 rushing yards, 580 receiving yards, and a league-leading 21 total touchdowns, despite missing the final 2 regular season games. The Rams stormed into the playoffs as the NFC's number 2 seed, and it looked like Gurley was poised to carry them to a championship. The divisional playoff round seemed to confirm that. Gurley ripped off a 35-yard touchdown run against Dallas, helping the Rams advance. Everything was going according to script for a Super Bowl run. In the NFC Championship game, Gurley was expected to lead the charge, but this is where things took a turn. In that NFC title game, fans noticed something strange. Todd Gurley was mostly on the sideline. A bruising veteran, C.J. Anderson, was getting carries in Gurley's place. Gurley had only a handful of touches, and he didn't look like himself when he was on the field. The Rams still managed to win in an overtime thriller, but the mysterious disappearance of Gurley as the centerpiece of the offense left everyone puzzled. Was he injured? In the lead-up to Super Bowl 53, the questions intensified. Gurley and the Rams insisted everything was fine. The team downplayed any injury and maintained that Gurley's light usage was just a coaching decision. But in the Super Bowl, the pattern continued. Gurley was largely a non-factor, logging well below his normal workload. The Rams' offense, which had been so dominant, sputtered and scored only 3 points in a Super Bowl loss. Something was clearly wrong. In the weeks and months that followed, the truth began to emerge. Gurley had been battling a knee issue late in the 2018 season, the same knee in which he'd torn the ACL back at Georgia. Reports surfaced that Gurley was suffering from an arthritic component in that left knee. Essentially, the long-term effects of his college injury were catching up to him. The Rams tried to manage it quietly, but by playoff time, Gurley's knee couldn't hold up to his usual workload. But what no one knew outside the organization was just how serious this knee problem was. Gurley's camp and the team kept it under wraps, and he never publicly used it as an excuse. As he later put it, I try not to press the issue. I just do my job, not complaining about touches. Still, the decline was undeniable. In 2019, the Rams attempted to ease Gurley's burden to preserve his health, but the results showed a steep drop-off. He posted career lows in rushing attempts and yards in 2019, though he still scored 14 touchdowns. Anyone watching could see Gurley lacked the same burst. He'd have good moments, but the consistency and explosiveness were diminished. The situation put the Rams in a bind. They had a beloved star player with a degenerative knee issue and a huge contract. The team missed the playoffs in 2019, and tough decisions loomed. Then came March 2020, and with it, a jarring headline. The Los Angeles Rams released Todd Gurley. It was hard to fathom. Just 18 months earlier, Gurley had been the NFL's best running back and face of the franchise. Now, at 25 years old, he was being cut. Gurley himself was caught off guard, and the timing was cold. The move came a day before another $10.5 million of his salary would have become guaranteed, a reminder that the National Football League is as much a business as a sport. Still, the Rams' message was clear. Because of the knee concerns and the hefty contract, they were moving on. It was a stunning fall from the top. Gurley didn't stay unemployed for long. Barely a day after his release, he signed a one-year deal with the Atlanta Falcons. The move was a homecoming back to Georgia, where he was a college legend. Falcons fans hoped maybe a change of scenery and lighter workload could spark a Gurley resurgence. And early in the 2020 season, there were flashes of the old Todd Gurley. He had a few strong games and continued his knack for finding the end zone, scoring 9 touchdowns for Atlanta that year. But the explosive, every-down playmaker of years past was rarely seen. Gurley finished the 2020 season with 678 rushing yards on 195 carries, an average of just 3.5 yards per carry. When the season ended, the Falcons chose not to bring him back. At only 26 years old, Todd Gurley found himself a free agent with little interest around the league. Over the next year, Gurley remained unsigned. There were rumors of possible workouts or teams that might call, but Gurley never inked another NFL deal. And quietly, without a formal announcement at first, he walked away from football. By the fall of 2022, Gurley confirmed what many suspected. He was done with the NFL, officially retiring at the age of 28. In interviews, he revealed he was at peace with the decision, saying he had accomplished more than he ever dreamed and had no regrets. It was a remarkably mature perspective from someone whose career had been so brilliant yet so brief. Todd Gurley's story is both extraordinary and cautionary, and it shines a spotlight on a broader truth about the NFL. The shelf life of a running back is brutally short. Gurley was a generational talent, the kind of player coaches build an offense around. And yet, by 26, he was essentially used up and cast aside, not because of anything he did wrong, but because of the unforgiving nature of the sport. Running backs, as a group, have the shortest careers of any position in the NFL, averaging only about 2.5 years in the league. Teams have learned that a running back's prime is usually in their early to mid-20s, and by the time a second contract rolls around, the wear and tear can be staggering. Now, free from the grind of football, Gurley has turned his attention to life beyond the field. He has been active in charitable work. For example, he co-founded the MAD Esports Foundation to support and inspire youth. He's also ventured into business and entrepreneurship. Gurley has taken on roles such as being an investor and advisor in companies, and he's even gotten involved in sports ownership on a smaller scale. In 2022, he became a part owner of a team in the fan-controlled football league, staying connected to the sport in a new way. Off the field, Gurley's charismatic, easygoing personality has remained intact. He's often seen smiling in interviews, enjoying time with family and friends, and even dabbling in his love of soccer and travel. The rise and fall of Todd Gurley is a story of brilliance, brevity, and hard truths. He reached the pinnacle of his sport, became a household name, and then came face to face with the reality that even superhumans have limits. But this isn't just a tale of decline. It's a testament to Gurley's impact in a short window and a reminder of how fleeting athletic greatness can be. Hey, if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for watching.